Welcome to the lecture of Advanced Machine Learning. Today we are going to talk about generative adversarial network. Generative adversarial network was first introduced by Goodfellow et al. In NIPS 2014, and since then it became very popular. So Ian Goodfellow and the same group actually reproduced that same paper, Generative Adversarial Network, with the same title in this month 2020 in Communications of ACM, volume 63, number 11. And many of my material, today's material, I have directly taken from this paper as well as the original NIPS 2014 paper of Goodfellow et al. Also, I have followed this book, Hands-on Machine Learning with Scikit-learn, Keras and TensorFlow by Aurélien Guérin, particularly between page 592 to 606, where generative adversarial network is being defined and presented with the Python code. In this lecture today, we will be mainly focusing on understanding the concept and the theoretical aspect of the generative adversarial network. In a separate lecture, in a separate session, I will do the hands-on for autoencoder and generative adversarial network or GAN. First, today we will talk about what is the problem statement or the idea of generative adversarial network. The problem statement is, suppose X is the data generated from Px. We don't know the P. Our end goal is to learn about this unknown P. This is the problem statement. So there is a probability distribution or probability distribution which generates the data X. So we only observed X. We have no clue about the Px, and we want to estimate P or learn about the P or to learn about a generating process. Main idea of GAN is establish two neural network model which will compete against each other. The competition will push them to excel and learn the data generating process of PX. So this is the main idea of GAN or generative adversarial network. GAN has two network. One is called generator network, another is called discriminator network. A network that generates data is known as the generating network or generator network. For example, decoder part of the variational autoencoder you can consider for generating the new data or generator network. The data generated from this generator network, often known as the fake data. The goal of generator network is to trick the discriminator network. You also set up a discriminator network. Take either a fake data from the generator or a real data from the training set as input. Guess whether input data is fake or real. Goal is tell the data that at hand is a real data or fake data. And of course, generator will network will try to fool the discriminator, and discriminator network will try to differentiate between the real data and the fake data. So they will compete each other, and in the process the generator network will become really good and generate the data which will very close to the real data generating process. Here I have taken this figure from the Aurélien Guérin's book. This is figure from the chapter 17 about the structure of the generative adversarial network. So here is a generated network. From the generated network you simulate a data. Here they have used MNIST dataset to simulate a sample picture, sample image, which is a fake image, in a sense that this image actually does not exist in the training dataset, and here is a real image from the training dataset. So goal of the generator is to trick the discriminator. Discriminator will take this image and this image and tell which one is fake and which one is real. So goal of the discriminator is to tell the or discriminate between fake data and the real data. This figure, this is actually the chronology of how GAN has improved its capability approximately over 4 years period since its inception of 2014. This is the figure directly taken from first original paper of Goodfellow 2014 NIPS paper. Then in 2015 this was the Keras, then this is the Liu Duzel, and this is the Redford 2017 paper. You can clearly see the technology, the GAN as a technology has improved significantly within the first 4 years of the discovery of the this new technology or new network system. This figure I have taken from directly from the Goodfellow et al. 2020, and it's a very interesting figure. It says the image is this image is actually a sample from a new GAN called progressive GAN. The reference for this particular progressive GAN you can find in Goodfellow et al. 2020, depicting a person who does not exist. So this person actually does not exist in the world. But GAN was imagined this person after GAN was trained on the photos of some celebrities. So GAN was trained on some photos or some images of celebrities, and then from that training GAN imagined a sample which of a person who might be looking like a celebrity, but actually this person does not exist. It's a completely fake image or the completely fake person. Unique feature of GAN: it is based on game theory, while other generative models are based on the optimization technique. GAN avoid the entire issue of designing a tractable density function and learn only tractable sample generation process. These are called implicit generative models. So GAN does not directly try to model the density function, rather it kind of approximate the density function in a sense that it create a generating process which implicitly follow implicitly approximate the generating process of the samples from the original distribution. Let's look inside GAN. Suppose G is a generator model such that X is equal to G of Z, where G is differentiable function, Z is a latent variable sampled from a simple prior distribution, and X is drawn from the probability distribution or the model probability distribution. This idea is not very new. This is a very common idea from probability and statistics. Let me give you an example. If we want to simulate from exponential distribution with parameter lambda, what we can do, we can simulate z from uniform 0 1, then pass it to g of z, which is minus ln z by lambda is equal to x. Now I can say x is actually if simulated from the exponential distribution with parameter lambda. GAN is about solving a game. So first thing is defining a generator function, say g. G depends on two inputs, one is the z and theta g is the parameters of the generator function. dx theta d is the discriminator network model where x is the input and theta d is the parameter of the t. Here that means there are two players. One is the generator functions of the generator network. Another is the D is the discriminator network. Both players have their own cost function that are defined in terms of both players' parameters theta d and theta g. Discriminator wishes to minimize its own cost function such that it minimizes jd over theta d and theta g. It can minimize only on the theta d, it can minimize only on its own parameters, whereas generator wishes to minimize its own cost function and it can minimize on its own parameters theta g. Solution of GAN is Nash equilibrium. The solution to a game is any game is typically from game theory is Nash equilibrium, more precisely local differential Nash equilibrium. In this context, Nash equilibrium is a tuple theta d of theta d and theta g, that is local minimum of jd with respect to theta d and local minima of jg with respect to theta g. In any game theoretic setup, you have to define your cost function. So what is first we define cost of the cost function that is being used for the discriminators. Remember that whatever be the model, whatever be your problem statement, discriminator will be always a classifier, because discriminator function will be only keep saying that whether the data that has come from a real, it's a real data set or the fake data set. So it will be a discriminator classifier network. So standard cross entropy cost will be used in most of the GAN network that you will see in the literature. So you can see this is the typically a cost entropy of the so of the discriminator function. So dx is the discriminator, so expected value of log ts, expectation is taken with respect to data, original the data, or empirical functions, and then expected value of 1 minus d of gz when expectation is taken with respect to z. And standard cross entropy cost that is minimized when training is standard binary classifier with the sigmoid function or sigmoid output. The classifier is trained on two mini batches of data, remember that. One coming from the data set where label is 1 for all examples. So if you're working with the MNIST data set, so one group of images will come from the MNIST data set, and that those images, for those images my label will be 1. On the other hand, there will be a generator which will generate some images similar to, possibly similar to that of MNIST dataset, but not from the MNIST dataset, rather from the generator. It will just fake dataset, and those will be labeled as 0, and the discriminator will be trained on this dataset. All version of GAN game encourage the discriminator to minimize the above cost function. This cost function will be minimized. The simplest version of the game is zero sum game. So in this version of the game, so the cost for the generator will be the negative of cost of the discriminator. So because jg is tied directly to jd, so the cost of the generator and cost of the discriminator, they are directly tied to each other. The value function specify the discriminator's payoff as minus value of the game is minus j of d theta g. Zero sum game are also called the minimax game or minimax solution. So that is theta g star is arg mean of max of v theta d and theta g. So there will be a maximization of inner loop and minimization will happen in the outer loop. Let us look into the value function more carefully. So what is the value function? So value function is expected value of log dx with respect to the p hat. P hat is the empirical distribution function or the empirical distribution from using the training data set, and expected value of log of 1 minus d of g of z, and where expectation is taken with respect to p of z. So I can write it in the integration x p hat x log dx and pz log of 1 minus d of gz dz. Now I know that x equal to g of z. I am going to use this. Now x equal to gz is my generator model. So z could be some uniform. I want to simulate from uniform distribution, and g is some network. I plug it in and it gives me, say, some nice image or some nice audio or something like that. So x of gz, which implies z is g inverse of x, so which is dz of g inverse transpose of x of dx. Now first part will be stay same. The second part, I want to write the second part in terms of x. So integration of x pz of z, I replace z by g inverse of x here, this z, and gz is equal to x, so I replace gz here x, and dz I replace it by g inverse. Now if you take this part and g inverse derivative of g inverse x, that is actually probability density of g of x, pg of x. So pg of x is pz of g inverse of x times g inverse dash x. So this is like Jacobian of the distribution. So this is the transformation of the distribution part, and this is the Jacobian of the transformation. So this gives me the probability density with respect to the generating functions. Everything is with respect to x, so I can write it in as p hat x log dx plus pgx 1 minus dx of whole dx. Now this I want to maximize, so I want to fix the g, and I want to maximize with respect to d. So I want to figure out the optimal d. What is the optimal d with for a given g? If I fix the g, what will happen with the d? If I want to maximize this, so this is same as maximizing this density. It's like taking the derivative inside the integration kind of thing. So delta dx p hat x log dx and pgx 1 minus dx. If I take the derivative with respect to this, then p hat x dx minus pgx 1 minus dx equal to 0. If you solve this equation, that will give you the optimal d for given g. For given g, d star is the optimal discriminator, which is p hat x by p hat x plus pgx. Now let's look into the cost function of the generator function. So cost at the optimal d, what is my cost? I got the optimal d, right? This is my optimal d. At optimal d, what is my cost function? So max of vdg is this, is the max of this. Now at max will be basically d star g is my optimal d for given g. So this is the solution. D star g is the solution of max of vd g of the value maximized over D. So I just plug that thing d star g here for dx and d star g here for dx. So this is my maximized value. So what is d star g gx? That is p hat x by p hat x plus pgx, and p hat x pgx by pgx plus pgx. Now I divide it by 2 and multiply it by 2 here. There is a 2 here and 2 here. Similarly, here is a 2 and divide it by 2. This 2 is log of 1 by 2, so that is minus log 2, and there is another minus log 2 from here, so that is why there will become a minus log 4. Now if you look into carefully, this one is effectively Keil divergence between p hat x and p hat x plus pgx. Similarly, this one is the Keil divergence between pgx and p hat x plus pgx by 2 minus log 4. Now remember that Keil divergence is always greater than equal to 0. So this term is greater than equal to 0. This term is greater than equal to 0. So the cost of g could be will be minimum at minus log 4. It could be minimum at 0. It could be at minimum at 0. Cost of g at the optimal d will be minimum when this Keil divergence is 0 and this Keil divergence is 0. If this Keil divergence is 0, that means basically I am saying this distribution and this distribution, they are almost same basically. So p hat x is same as p hat x plus pgx by 2. Similarly, if I am saying Keil divergence between pgx and this is 0, then pgx is equal to p hat x plus pgx by 2. If you solve this, that gives me p hat x and pgx. That is what we want to achieve effectively. Okay, that is because I want to discover the function pgx where pgx is at p hat x. Basically, pgx is same as p hat x. When pgx is same as p hat x, then basically I can say that my generating process is started simulating from the original distribution, underlying distribution from where the training samples are being generated. Here is a nice example, a sort of a cartoon that is being given by Goodfellows 2020, November 2020 paper. This month it is being published. So in the first initial, what has happened is this black dotted line, these are the original samples, okay, from a univariate normal distribution. So this green, solid green line is the generator distribution. So here is a Z, sort of a uniform distribution. From the uniform, randomly it has picked and it has given the green dash line. The dot black line are the original data points. So the generator is very different from the actual data, and this is the classifier pretty much. Okay, now what they are saying that just typically what happened in the GAN is the discriminator and the generator, two are being trained simultaneously. But here they're saying, just for sake of simplicity, let's assume you fix the generator. You fix the generator and you try to optimize the discriminator. Then what will happen, discriminator will become very efficient, and any value that are coming from here in this region, it will discriminate, it will accept those values, and any value that are coming from this region or this region, it will reject those values, because discriminator has become very efficient after quite a few iteration, keeping the generator fixed. Now once you learn this discriminator, you fix the discriminator and now you start optimizing the generator. Then what happened, that eventually this solid dash green line will behave like this, and Z will simulate more from this region, run this region. It is not like that will never sample maybe one or two from here, but most of the sample will start concentrating here in this region, and it will simulate this like this. Then eventually when the algorithm converges to the Nash equilibrium, the generated distribution will converge with the original distribution p hat x, and the discriminator will become flat because now p hat equal become the pg, or pg become the p hat. So discriminator will not be able to actually discriminate between the fake data and the real data. So it will become a toss of half and half. So it will say it will say real or fake with a probability of half. So it become flat. So discriminator will fail. When basically discriminator will become half and flat, that means you have learned about the generator has become uh, the GAN algorithm has converged to the Nash equilibrium. The Goodfellows paper, this recent paper, they have talked quite significantly about the convergence of GANs. Well, they're saying that in many different models, not only the 2014 models and some other models, where whether the Nash equilibrium exists or not, it is not clear to the community. Whether even any spurious Nash equilibria exists, because there are many game theoretic problem where it is being shown that there could be more than one Nash equilibria exist, and one could be optimal and there could be another Nash equilibrium which is sort of a local minima kind of thing which you want to avoid. If it gets stuck, it will get stuck there. Whether the learning algorithm converges to a Nash equilibrium or not. If so, then how quickly it converges to a Nash equilibrium. Then at the end, they comment that in many cases of practical interest, these theoretical questions are open, and best learning algorithms seem empirically to often fail to converge. So that means as of November 2020, Goodfellows paper is telling us that there are a lot of theoretical questions are unanswered when it comes to GANs and the convergence of the GANs. So anybody who is interested about GANs, they can look into this aspect of the GANs. In summary, we can say GANs are the generative model based on game theory, which is very different than standard generative models approach, which where people use either a Monte Carlo, Markov chain Monte Carlo kind of simulation strategy, or a maximum likelihood kind of strategy, or variational inference kind of strategy that we have seen in the variational autoencoder. They have had great practical success in terms of generating realistic data, especially in the image domain. It is currently still difficult to train them so far, that is being found. For GANs to become more reliable technology, it will be necessary to design model, cost, or training algorithms for which it is possible to find good Nash equilibria consistently and quickly. So this is with this, I'll stop here. In another session, I will do the hands-on with the autoencoder and GAN. For now, thank you very much.